the phone. Bashar, come. Ya Allah. Yusuf, Amr, Ahmed, Muhammad, come over. I'm waiting for you, don't worry. I'm not gonna go very far. What did you do, Bah? Ramiz. 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 Can we have like more kids over here? Yusuf, Maher, Bashar. No, Yusuf is your name. Yusuf, Maher, Ahmed, Bashar. Abdullah. Just go to the other side. Guys, go to the other side. No, he's gonna come, inshallah. Maher, I'm not gonna repeat myself. It's like the third time. Ahmed also. Abdullah, and Safik. Abdullah. No, it's not sorry. You didn't listen what I'm saying. I'm saying go to that side. That's why you cannot be sorry. You didn't listen. Ahmed. That side, please. Two, 4, 5. Assalamu alaikum, girls. Assalamu alaikum. Ulad, assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Quick question. So the Sheikh is going to come like in 5 minutes, inshallah. We want to do a competition. We want to do a competition during Ramadan. I think I asked him to stop with the bottle, and you're just on my right. Is disrespectful. Give me the bottle. I told you not to bring inside the masjid the bottle. Don't look at your brother. You. Yes, your brother put it on his shoes, not you. So you're going to put it on your shoes. البنت الصغير شو اسمه؟ Anyway, so we're going to do a competition during Ramadan. What kind of competition we want to do? Yes. Basketball competition, Quran competition. No, we're gonna have Naam fasting competition. So who's planning to do the whole month? Who's planning to do the whole month? The whole month. Mohammed, Amr. Fasting the whole month? Okay. So, can you put your hands down now? So what we want to do, you have two competitions. So I know most of you are not going to participate for the Quran competition. Oh. So let's do another competition as well. So you must, Naam? They're going to be like a huge prize. We didn't define yet, but it can be a huge prize because it's during Ramadan and people are Mohammed is like the fifth time. No, you don't. Sorry, you don't listen what I'm saying. You are talking and you're bothering someone else. Khalil, come here.
Khalil, pay attention.
Amr is also the third time. So we do two competition. One is Ramadan, one is Quran competition. One is a little bit different. It's going to be a video competition. Yes. What is a video?
Oh, no, it's when you watch an Islamic video and then you can ask questions after.
It's going to talk about subject and hadith. You're gonna do like a 1 minute, between 1 and 3 minutes video, like a TikTok. You know TikTok or not?
No,
Why?
never TikTok.
One second, just one. Why astaghfirullah? Stop. Okay. The TV. Hold on. The TV had bad things on it or not? Okay, so everything had bad things. The human being have bad things or not? The human being has bad things or not? The boys has bad things or not? So TikTok, you cannot choose what you want to watch. No, it's one of the things. So don't consider everything bad. Is how you use it. It's not more how you put it. So let's finish, guys. So the goal is to match a little bit on tendency. I understand it's not interesting you, Abdullah, but can you uskut like 5 minutes just to finish? You don't need to listen if you are not interested. But it's not what I asked. It's not what I asked. What did I ask? No. 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 You don't listen, guys. I ask him to stop talking. It's a simple action. You're still talking. Naam? You also you want to talk? Okay. So we want to do like a 1 minute video, and we're going to publish every day, every single day of the Ramadan. And the one that has the most hit will be rewarded. The most like, the most thumbs up. Did I tell him to not stop talking? Okay. Now you are allowed to ask questions. I agree. I said talking, you cannot. But if you want, you can do whatever you want. Naam, Habib. I think you misleading like the discussion. We are in a masjid. I repeat again the context. We're in the masjid. It's for the Ramadan, and I said it's like the one day of every single day of the Ramadan, and you're gonna have topic and hadith. So Sister Samah has some hadith on the paper. So I advise you to take some look at Sister Samah has the paper. So go take a paper. Because how are you going to count the number of likes? So you can do a video, you can do animate, and the goal is to talk about the subject, the hadith, during. And don't forget what's happened during Ramadan. You fast, but the shaitan is not. The shaitan is not here. Ah. So what are you doing? So you cannot blame the shaitan if you do something. Exactly. So like this, if Amr is talking and is talking with Muhammad, and it doesn't matter for him, it's fine, because it's not Ramadan. So he can blame to the shaitan, but not during the Ramadan. I don't know, you didn't listen. So I'm talking to the people that listen. Okay? Yes, Habibi. The ball, it's like 2 years old. Hey, Bismillah, Sheikh, you want to come? Nam? No, it's the concept. You take a video of either you talk about the subject, either you take a movie of something that you have built, a story that you have made, of yourself talking about the subject. People they're gonna like, and more you likes you have, and the one that have the more likes will be rewarded. Naam? Social media is basically on the net. It's internet. No, it's fine. I'm gonna explain to you after. Abdullah is gonna try. Nah, go. Dean, you don't want to do a video? We want to do like for Ramadan, every single day a video. Like a TikTok, but like Muslim way. Like you talk about the hadith. Yes. That is good. Both of you? So you need to go for because we need volunteers. We can reward you. But the goal of volunteer is we can figure out differently. Basha, take a picture of the paper, not to lose it after. I'm pretty sure Abdullah is going to find a way to win. Social media is Facebook, Instagram. Ahmed. Naam, Habibi.
Sign up for the competition.
The Quran? We're going to send a text. Which one? This one? You go with Sister Samah, she's going to give you the paper, inshallah. We didn't decide. What do you want? If you win, give me what you want and we figure out. Yeah? Ibrahim, you don't want to do it? Put it on your pocket, Dean. You have a phone or not? So put it on the pocket. Yeah, I know. Share it with your mom. Yus, I know you have your back is hurting. Guys, in the front. Yus. Naam, Habibi. Well, you need to see with your parents. You are very young to do that. You are very young. It's going to be here, the shit. Yes. Abdullah, Yusuf, Ahmed, Khalil, Maher. Maher. No, don't tell me what. You know what Bismillah, Sheikh. Naam. Can you be in the front? The sheikh is here. Why are you giving his back? Yes.
I was thinking about giving a prize for $100, but nobody's moving. Nobody's moving to the most creative. How many people have signed up already? How many girls signed up already?
Wait, is it gonna be one girl winner and one boy winner?
Who knows?
That's gonna be a better tournament.
But how many of you didn't sign up yet? Against the girls? Did you two sign up? Well, go sign up, hurry up. You don't want to stand up? Okay. So let's take a few minutes and learn something really fast. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. I have a question for you. Why do we fast the month of Ramadan? Hold on a second. I need you guys to tone down a little bit. Hey, I need you to tone down. Listen, participate. Why do we fast the month of Ramadan? Why are you over there? Come over here and join us. Wait. He's all the way over there. We're waiting for him to come and join. Come on. Come here. You come here. Huh? Okay. Come here. Hold on, give him a chance. Stand up. Why do we fast the month of Ramadan? Hey guys, give him a chance. Give him some attention.
For Allah.
For Allah. That's the ultimate reason. But how do we know we fast Ramadan? How do we know it's an obligation to fast Ramadan? No, how do we know that we should fast Ramadan? Okay, come on, stand up. Guys.
Because it's on the
Hey guys, please participate.
because it's on the 6 pillars of Islam.
The 6 pillars of Islam. What is the 6th pillar? What's the 6th pillar?
To pray 5 times a day,
Okay, that's it.
to fast,
Okay,
and to worship Allah.
okay. What is
And,
is to believe that Allah is one,
and to believe Allah is one.
to pray,
And to pray 5 times a day,
to fast,
to fast,
to give zakah,
give zakah,
to make hajj. So where's the 6th pillar? Five pillars. 5 pillars. Even though there's some difference amongst it. So he said basically so that we know that we should fast. He's saying because it's one of the pillars of Islam. How do we know the pillars of Islam? Where do we get that from? The Quran. In this case, in general, it's true from the Quran we get it, but in this case, it's made known from the Ahadith. But
From the hadith.
from the hadith, we have a hadith that specifically is saying that there's 5 pillars of Islam, and from one of those pillars of Islam, what is a pillar? One of those pillars of Islam is the fast of Ramadan. What's a pillar? Okay, something mandatory to do, but what is a pillar? Hey guys. Come here. What is a pillar? Look at the example in a building. What is a pillar, guys? Come on. We don't have a lot of time. It holds up. It holds up what? The building. That means that what? If we're saying that fasting is one of the pillars of Islam, then what are we saying? We fast. Yes, we fast while we pray.
So it means that a pillar in Islam is a pillar holds your Islam.
Yeah, it means that this is one of the things that is very necessary in order for what? For our Islam to keep moving. Now, we're talking about a rule here that we should fast. Now the question is, why should we fast? Someone said for Allah. Okay, but does Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala need us to fast?
He wants us to test us. He wants us to how it feels to be poor people.
Okay, so this is a benefit of the fast, that we what? That we learn how it will feel to not have food. Okay, yes, but there's what? That helps us to be in what we call in solidarity. Or it helps us to what? Put ourselves in the place of other people that don't have. But we don't want to focus on that right now. What should we get out of the fast? Hold on a second. Wait. Girls, I need you to participate. Because I want you to use your mind. Think about that for a second. What should we get out of the fast? We're going to talk about that a little bit. Hold on one second. I hope that you're thinking. But before we go there, does Allah need us to worship? We keep saying this over and over again. Does Allah need us to worship?
No.
Do we know what worship is?
Yes.
You know what worship is? Do you? No. What's worship? Come here. Where's the other microphone? What is worship?
It means to pray.
Okay. Worship is to do. There's some things that we do, right, that connect us to Allah. But worship is more than just salah, is more than just fasting, is more than just making dua, is more than just giving zakat. Anything that we do that's good, that we're seeking the pleasure of Allah, could be worship. Like, name something that could be considered worship that's not from those things that we normally say that is worship, or ibadah. The term is ibadah. What?
It is thinking about what Allah created.
Okay, yes, that's a good one. That's a very intellectual one. That when we put our minds down, when we put our minds in focus, and we think about, for instance, like a beautiful flower, where did it come from? When we think about the sun, when we think about, for instance, when we look at the food that is on our table, and we think about where did that food come from? How did that food get to our table? It's impossible for the food just to appear. Is the origin of the food the supermarket? Where did the food come from? And you think about all of the process, all of the things that go into us having food, and then you think ultimately, wow, this all came from Allah. It's impossible for this to exist without Allah. That's what we call tafakkur. So he's saying tafakkur, it means to have some reflection when we're using our fikr, when we're using our thought, and it takes us back to Allah. Okay, so we have that point clear, that worship is more than just doing that which we're obligated. There's other things. Like, for instance, being kind to people can be an act of worship. Like smiling can be an act of worship, right? Like if your friend gets sick and you send them a card or something like that, or send her a card, that could be an act of worship. Another point of act of worship is saying nice things to our friends, even though they get on our nerves, even though we want to beat them up. What about how we deal with our parents? Can we consider that an act of worship? Hold on, guys. Yes or no? No. You better watch it. You're gonna get in trouble here. No, it's an act. It can be. It's bir al walidain, or having respect and regard and treating our parents nice. Regard means respect, right? To honor them, that's an act of worship. So we have it clear that what? We have it clear that an act of worship is not just the pillars of Islam. Now, when we talk about acts of worship, we already made it clear that we're the ones that get the benefit from that. Right? Yeah. Why? When we do good deeds, what happens? We get hasanat. And the word hasanat it means that, we bring good into our lives. It's just not, we just don't want to say reward. But when we talk about doing good deeds, we're talking about bringing good things into our lives. When we do bad deeds, and when we talk about NHIEC, we're talking about bringing bad into our lives. So when we bring bad into our lives, it has a negative impact on us, negative effect. When we do good,
It brings a good impact in our life.
it brings a good impact on our lives. So all of those things that are considered worship, they're bringing what? Something good into our lives. So for instance, there's certain things that we should get out of the fasting. So the fasting has something that we call objectives or maqasid. Learn the word. Single is maqsid. What is it? And the plural is what? Maqasid. Remember that last time we talked about all of our actions should be what? Have what? A niyyah, an intention. Yes, a good intention, right? It should have an intention, a niyyah, but then the quality of the niyyah is that it should be for good. So here, that when we say that our action should have an intention, that means why it is that we do it, right? What it is that is the purpose for us to do it. But the action itself of fasting has its own purposes. You see the difference? You see, I want you to think a little bit here. It's a little complicated. Who can tell me the difference of what I'm saying here? I'm waiting. What's the difference? You want to think about it? Encourage him. Yes, but listen, hold on a second. Listen, one thing I don't like is when you don't encourage each other. Hold on a second. Wait a second. That's fine. Is what? Encouragement. He's saying, he's telling you to encourage him. So what's a form of encouraging? When somebody, don't make fun of the person, or don't talk about what they don't know or don't know. Why? Because you may embarrass them, right? Even right now, you may feel embarrassed because I'm pointing in your direction. I understand. That's fine. But see, I have a different way of how I deal with all of you. So the little ones, I try to encourage them. I bring you up so you have what? Confidence in yourself. The girls, I try to give them their space. It's more than just taking away information. See what I'm saying? So, but I want you guys to practice, because I know in school and in this environment, everybody's joking and mocking everybody. It's like, but you know what? That makes certain people feel bad. It's possible. Some people, it's possible. Can you imagine someone that they're having a hard time? Maybe their parents are divorced and they feel really sad. And then they have to go between their mother's house and their father's house, right? And that means their life is not the same anymore. That means, and then maybe they don't even go to the same school that they used to. Maybe they don't even see their cousins. And the only thing they do is they come here. Parents send them here so they can be with you guys. And they feel down and maybe feel out of place. Remember, we had a brother that talked about that. And he talked about that type of thinking, being depressed and so on and so forth. And he said, don't make fun of me. Don't laugh. This was like a few months back. So anyway, so what's the difference between us making an intention and the action itself having different reasons? This requires some thinking. Okay, let's put it this way. A video game, right? It has different, you can do different things with it, right? But then how you play the video game, right? Are you with me? Or what level you want to go into it, right? Is your purpose for why you played the game, right? But the game itself has a lot of different purposes, right? Or a lot of different things you can do with it. You understand the idea? So fasting, it has a lot of different reasons of why it's beneficial. Sometimes we may not understand all of those reasons, right? But when we go to fast, we make the intention to fast. This you may not always understand immediately now, but in the future, I'm plugging these ideas in your mind for some of you So that in the future, you understand that in Islam, we're not just doing things out of a routine. We're not just doing things because, oh, Abu Bilal said we have to fast, or because my parents said we have to fast. Even we're not just fasting because Allah said fast. There's benefit in the fast. We said all acts of worship, where's the benefit going to? To Allah? Does Allah need that from us? If we say Allah needs it, then what are we saying about Allah? Okay, that's good. Hold on, go back to that point. If we say we're saying that in many ways Allah is imperfect.
We're saying that Allah needs us.
If we say that Allah needs us, we're saying that Allah is not self-sufficient. You see what I'm saying? Allah is not a human being. Everything in the world that's created, it needs something else. Even something like electricity, it needs the wires, it needs the generator, it needs the power. We need food, we need our parents, we need. Everything is in need except Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. That's why we say, Huwa al-Ghani, right? He's the one that self-sustains, that is not in need of anything at all. So the fast itself, every act of ibadah, we have to know what we're going to get from it. Whether it's the salah, whether it's the reading the Quran, whether it's the coming to the masjid, whether it's getting married, whether it's doing business in a certain way. Because Islam tells us, do business in certain ways and don't do business in other ways. Because there's benefit here and there's harm here. And what Islam is telling us, we should do it this way, is because there's benefit in it. We have to learn about that. Is that clear or no? The idea is clear? So every act of worship, we should know why we're doing it, other than just saying it that we're doing it for Allah, other than saying that it's just commanded. We should know the reasons behind. So the fast itself. So Islam, for instance, tells us, like when we do business as an example, that we shouldn't engage in a business transaction that's going to put us in an incredible amount of debt and we can't pay it back. And then the agreement that we have to pay that debt back, say for instance, we have to take out a loan. It keeps compounding and compounding, becoming so much that it crushes us. See what I'm saying? So Islam teaches us there's certain things that we should do. Like for instance, we shouldn't cheat another person. Or say for instance, a person comes and they have a need. Say for instance, I have $500,000. They want to start a business. Islam teaches us in that time when that person has a need, we should go into a partnership with them versus, and we should support each other in good and develop. Yeah, I can get my share. Versus like the banks, what they do. The banks and that person that wants to start a business say, yeah, I'll give you a loan, but you have to pay me back this percentage, and it's an incredible percentage. And even the credit cards are like that. See what I'm saying? Is that I don't want to get into whether the credit card is haram or not, because that's a more complicated issue, right? But we have to realize we're not living in a society where Islam is shaping the way we behave. So we try as much as possible to do things right, which protect us. We try to do as much as possible, because the money piece is difficult, because you need a credit card, right? You need a credit card to rent a car. You need a credit card to make transactions. So by necessity, right, the credit card, what? You need to use it. And sometimes you may fall into a situation where you use the credit card, you don't have the money to pay it back right away. So that means you're going to pay more than what's necessary. Right? And so in that case, in the ideal world, it would be no, don't engage in that at all, period. But in this case, Islam is telling us, look, be careful how much debt you're accumulating with that credit card. Don't just get on there and you want to buy the Xbox and you want to buy the Jordans and you want to buy this and that, and then all of a sudden you have all this debt that you can't pay back. Right? So Islam is teaching us that even with our money, we should be in a position of strength, not in a position of weakness. And we shouldn't oppress other people because we see them in weakness. We should be fair. That's the general rule. It gives. None of that stuff is haram. But it could be israf. You know the word israf? It could be a waste. What's better? For you to buy $300 Jordans, or for you to take and buy shoes that are maybe like $100? They're strong, and then you learn how to invest the rest of the money and you build your money up. Like which one? You want to make Jordan and the company rich, or do you want you yourself to be in a position of strength? So if you take the money that's there, that's in your pocket, that mostly is going to come from your parents, and they're tired of hearing you cry, so they go, yo, Baba, here, take the money, go buy the Jordan. Is that good thinking? Especially as a man, especially you to prepare yourself to be a husband one day, a father. Is that type? I want to know, is that type of spending money, is it a good way? Or okay, what did you get back from that? But we didn't say be cheap. We said get a good pair of shoes, Habibi, and take the rest of the money and invest it and grow it, which is a different way of thinking. Versus just taking your money and you're just giving it to somebody else and they get rich and so on and so forth. And then guess what? And then your cousin doesn't have shoes like you, and then your kids don't have shoes like you. So, but we're going far. Let's come back here. So fasting. From the goals of fasting, yes, we should have the intention. We should do it for the pleasure of Allah, but we should know what that action is bringing to us. So one of the first things that I wanted to say is that we always say that in the time of Ramadan, we just mentioned it, that we say that shaitan is what? Locked up. What does that mean?
That means he can't
So
get
that,
out.
so that, so, so that means when you do a bad deed, it's not going to be on the shaitan. It's going to be on you because of your actions.
Shaitan is whispering to you to do that.
Hold on a second. We have two. Okay, hold on. You say shaitan is whispering. You're saying now we can't blame shaitan. What are you going to say? What are you going to add? Girls, you're silent today. That's why I don't like when you're over there, because then when you're over there, you disappear. You should be over here. But if you're going to be over there, then you have to participate even more. What happened to my girls? You used to be at the front line. Now the boys are active and the girls are all silent. What's going on here? So can you share what is going on in your conference? If it's relevant. If it's not relevant, then this. So what were you going to add? Okay, let me say something to you. This is like khurafat. You know what khurafat is? Khurafat. You know what it is? Okay.
The shaitan is locked up, but yourself
Hold on, guys.
could tell you to do something bad.
Okay, that's true. That's true. The waswasa or the whispering can come from outside of you, from the shayateen that are invisible, and they can be from the jinn, or they can be from your friends. Sometimes your friends can be like bad, but it can come from you as well. But we want to get to something solid, because this is like superstitious belief. The ulama, they say, you know, this idea that shaitan is locked up, and then if shaitan is locked up, then why do we see things continue in the world that are messed up? You're just going to blame the people for the time being? And then after Ramadan, you say, well, shaitan is out again. No, here, the meaning is not that. The meaning is that, look, when we say that shaitan is locked up here, what we're talking about is the influence of shaitan over us, because when we're fasting, what it is that we're doing, right, is we're decreasing our desire, right? And what are we doing? We are focusing on doing what? And leaving what? Doing what? And leaving what? Yes, thank you. So for instance, the senses, like your eyes, they can lead you to thinking things that are haram, right? And if for instance, if you use your eyes in the wrong way, if you're looking at something which you shouldn't look at, right? And your desire increases. Now you may be in a situation where you make the intention to do something that's haram. But in Ramadan, because you're fasting, your orientation and your focus is different. So what we're talking about, that shaitan is locked up, we're talking about that we ourselves are cutting off the path to shaitan. How? We're not eating. When we eat, we have to realize, especially young boys and young girls, especially the young boys, you have to realize, you have to what? We have to eat by ourselves. Oh, only by ourselves? Not going to share with anybody? Especially the boys, when you start getting into teenage years, you're going through all these changes in your body. Girls too, but especially the boys. The more you eat, especially you eat certain foods, your desire increases. You start getting out of control, even out of shape, and so on and so. So the fast, what it does is it decreases our desire. And because Ramadan is a time where we're not only fasting, but Ramadan is a time where we're increasing in salah and the reading of the Quran. Now we're doing acts that are bringing us closer to being like angels. And this is something I said in the khutbah. Just give me 1 second. The human being is like a marriage between animals and the angels. You understand? Animals, they have desires. They have instincts. They just move in the world. It's about eating and drinking, and that's it. But the angels, they're what? They don't disobey Allah Ta'ala. No, but Shaitan was not an angel. Shaitan is a jinn. But Shaitan was considered what? To be a jinn of the highest rank of goodness. So he would be like friends and hang out with the angels. But the angels don't disobey Allah Ta'ala. Yes. It has an impact. It has an impact. It's
Crazy if somebody like random person like casts a spell, like blood goes crazy.
if you open yourself up to that, it's possible to have an impact on you. But you open yourself up into that, like for instance, you're in an environment. We see that all the time. We see that in some of these environments where people are doing haram. Like say, for instance, they are getting high and so on and so forth. And they're in environments in which they're doing haram things like stealing and fighting people and so on and so forth. And so, no, hold on, because you asked a question. And I'm giving you a real life example. Because some of you guys, you see that going on in these environments. So that's an environment in which what? There's haram stuff already going on. There's destructive stuff going on. So when you talk about black magic, what more black magic is there than some of this music that's telling people to kill themselves and that there's no God and all that evil stuff? You want to go to the superstitious stuff? Look at right there, what's right there in front of you, which is evil. You see what I'm saying? And so that stuff begins to have an impact on you, and you open yourself up to it. You see what I mean? Even you listening to the negative thoughts over and over again about yourself, you putting that on yourself. You see what I'm saying? But we don't want to give that so much power that we become superstitious, right? Some people give it so much power that it becomes superstitious, and the power is for Allah Ta'ala. But can we let it in? Yes. When what? When we begin to think negatively or think the wrong way or do sins, now we in that environment where we're more susceptible. It's possible for not the future without restriction, partial future. But but even for instance, in the past, we didn't know what was in the womb of a child, but what was in the womb of the mother. But with technology, we come and that's a part of the future that's revealed through technology. It's possible. You have that. Some people, they speak to the jinn and so on and so forth, and they get information. But I don't like when we go to the realm of the unseen and the superstition and all of that. You see what I'm saying? Because then that takes us to a realm where we're not in control of ourselves. The realm of the jinn is over there. Do you see them right now? Do you see them? So some people, they make a big deal of that. The jinn, they're here. They're this, they're that. You see what I'm saying? They take it beyond the limit of where she goes. We know that it's there in the unseen. But how, when we start going into that realm, is there benefit for us in that?
Yes.
There is. How so? We're talking about like trying to trying to look at the unseen.
Oh, yes. Yeah, benefit.
What's the benefit from that?
There's benefit and there's not benefit. The benefit is you can get ready.
The unseen that is beneficial for us to know about is what the Quran tells us about with regard to the hereafter, with regard to the angels and all of that stuff. And as far as the jinn and all that, we're taught in the Quran, we take refuge in Allah. The more good deeds we do, we protect ourselves. The more we read the Quran, we protect ourselves. But when we start going into the superstitious realm, then we stop depending upon Allah. Some people, they'll put like these protection things on. You know what I'm saying? Then every time they make a move, they're always worried about being impacted by and that has messed up the Muslim community because it makes them very superstitious. If we say we believe in Allah, then Allah controls everything. Allah knows everything, right? That's it. No, Allah. But that's it. let him ask the question. It does. If we don't, does that mean if we're alive, does Allah continue to exist? Yeah. Okay. So if we don't believe in Allah, does Allah continue to exist?
Yeah. Yeah, you said that if you believe you said if you believe in Allah that he will control everything.
I said we believe that Allah controls everything. So we shouldn't have a belief that takes away from our belief in Allah controlling everything. So if we're giving the jinn so much power, then what are we doing to our belief in Allah? Is it a belief that's strong or is it a belief that's weak at that point? Answer the question. Focus. You brought up the question. You need to clear that up in your head for yourself. 1 second. If you say that Allah is all powerful, be with me. You brought up the question, right? Then why should you give power to the jinn that can take away from the power of Allah? That's in your head. It's never going to happen. That's never going to take away the power from Allah. But in your head, it weakens your belief.
Yeah, I know, but I thought I heard you say that if Allah controls everything. I thought that's
No.
what you said. We believe in.
No, I said, okay, no, what I'm saying, let me clear this for you. If we say we believe in Allah, right? Then there's certain things that we should commit to. There's certain things that we should hold on to. If we say we believe in Allah and we say that Allah controls everything, then why will we take away from that belief and giving the jinn more power than they have? Almost like if they have power over Allah. The Christians have done that. When it comes to the issue, they make the devil like equal to, or shaitan equal to God. So they make it like there's two beings in the world. They make it like the devil is equal to God. Evil is not equal to good. You see what I'm saying? So either Allah is in control of everything or not. And so we believe that Allah is in control of everything, right? But human beings, Allah gives permission to the human being to do good or do bad. So even if you say you see bad things in the world, you say, well, we thought that Allah is in control of everything. No, it's that the human being is a special being, different than any other being on the earth. You see what I'm saying? So in this dunya, in this world, that dunya means a short period of time that we exist, right? In this time period, listen, guys. Focus. In this time period that we live in that's called dunya, it's a short period of time. The human being has to prove himself or herself by what it is that we do. So the fasting, and we want to close with this, it weakens our desire to do wrong. Another thing that it does is it weakens bad thoughts that come to us. It gives us strength. So what we're aiming at achieving from the fasting is what? Getting control over ourselves and focusing our lives back on what? On track. What does that look like? Okay, what's the right path look like? Girls, you're not going to help us today? Our episode is the boring episode. Who can add on to that? He said that the fasting is helping us to get on the right track. Girls. And when I said it decreases your desire and it weakens bad thoughts coming in. Oh, the professor, you haven't been here in a while. How so? Do you have a word for that? Do you know the word empathetic? What does that mean? Right. So the fasting, she's bringing up the other dimension that it teaches us what? How to connect with other people, how to feel. This is important. You know what? I want to close with saying this. That is an important lesson, not just for the issue of the poor. Because we always say, well, it helps us to connect with the poor and so on and so forth. More than that, it helps us to connect with other people. This is what a lot of people suffer from today. They feel lonely. They don't feel that connection with other people. Why? Because the way that we talk to each other and the way that we deal with each other, we're not connecting with each other. So empathy is when you put yourself in the place of the other person. So that's why we say that the fasting is teaching us how to be real human beings. Human beings that our desire is not controlling us. Human beings that our thinking is clear, is not influenced negatively by our desire, and neither all those thoughts that come into our minds that may be bad, they don't have the power over us. The fast makes us strong. And the fast connects us with Allah wa ta'ala. And like was mentioned, the fast helps us to connect to other human beings. And when we take it to another level, it helps us to be people that think about justice. What's justice? What's justice?
Somebody stole something from you, like you want justice, like you want it to give it back, and you pay for it.
Okay.
You call it, and like you want like you're right, like you don't want it to be wrong. Somebody stole it from you, and like he didn't give it.
So he's giving us an example of what justice is so that we know what justice is. Girls, what is justice? Before we go, what is justice, girls? He gave us an example of what justice looks like. No answers today. What's justice? Because they don't know. He said that you girls don't know what justice is.
Justice means to do the thing that's right, but it's not just pleasing the other people. It's what is like.
This is a term that I want you to really think about. I'm glad he gave an example. Justice is one of the most difficult things to talk about, but we know that we need justice. As Muslims, we stand for justice, right? And it's about bringing fairness, right, on the earth. It's about dealing with those who are what? Oppressed, meaning those who are treated unfairly. It's not just enough that we say that we are thinking about the poor. We have to go beyond that. Why are there poor when there's rich? Right? We have to think at that level. But first, we have to have a sense of being a human being. And when you're in control of yourself, it's easier to be nicer to people. It's easier to think about other people. So we get that. We're going to close now. What are some of the main things that we learned from this? Bilal is going to come.